Welcome to AI Podcasts. I'm Ethan, joined by Maya. Today we're unpacking an ACL 2025 paper titled Emma X. The quick take is that the authors teach a robot policy to look ahead in space and to explain its steps while grounded in the images it sees, which makes tabletop tasks more reliable than strong baselines.
Nice. Who's behind the work?
Representative authors are Chi Sun and Sujanya Porya. The team is based in Singapore, mainly at the Singapore University of Technology and Design, with collaborators from HiThink Research and Nanyang Technological University.
All right, what problem are they trying to solve in everyday terms?
Imagine telling a small robot arm, put the sponge in the bowl. Classic reinforcement learning models do well when nothing changes, but they falter when objects or wording vary. Vision language models understand instructions and scenes, but they don't directly emit the precise motor commands a robot needs. Vision language action models bridge that gap, yet they still struggle with two things. Their step-by-step reasoning can drift from the actual scene, and they often lack a clear plan for where the gripper should move next.
So the missing pieces are grounding the reasoning in what the camera sees and planning the next hand position before moving.
Exactly, Emma X adds both. First, it generates grounded chain of thought, meaning the model explains its sub-steps while conditioned on images from each segment of the task, not just text. Second, it performs look-ahead spatial reasoning by predicting the next place the gripper should appear in the image, along with a short 3D movement plan to get there, and only then outputs the next action.
You mentioned segments. How do they decide those?
They segment trajectories using the robot's motion in the open or closed state of the gripper. That creates natural sub-steps like approach, grasp, lift, and place. For each segment, they keep an image, a concise, grounded explanation, a predicted future gripper location, and a compact 3D movement description.
Where does the training signal come from? Do they need to hand label everything?
They build on Bridge V2, a large collection of manipulation trajectories with language prompts. Over that base, they generate extra supervision, segment boundaries, grounded explanations created with a multimodal assistant, and the look-ahead targets. Then they fine-tune an OpenVLA-style 7 billion parameter model so it learns to produce, in order, the grounded reasoning, the next segment spatial prediction, and the final low-level action.
Got it. How do they evaluate whether this helps?
They run real-world tabletop tasks and compare against competitive baselines, including an embodied chain of thought approach and an OpenVLA baseline. The tests mix familiar setups with out-of-distribution instructions and spatial relations, and they report success rates along with partial credit for near completions.
And the outcome?
Emma X shows consistent gains over those baselines, especially on tasks that rely on spatial reasoning or on instructions phrased in unfamiliar ways. In short, thinking with its eyes and planning a step ahead pays off.
Why does it help specifically?
The paper's analyses point to two drivers. Grounded explanations keep the narrative aligned with what's actually in view, reducing hallucinations like describing a move that already happened. The look-ahead target, both in 2D and as a brief 3D plan, gives the policy a concrete waypoint so it doesn't wander on longer tests.
Makes sense. Any caveats I should keep in mind?
A few. The evaluation is on a specific lab setup, so testing across different robots and camera placements would strengthen generality. Generating reasoning and spatial targets increases the number of tokens the model emits, which can add latency. And while the authors release resources, reproducing the full data creation pipeline can be demanding for smaller teams.
So still room to grow. What would you try next?
3 ideas. First, improve perception of the robot hand, for example with depth cues or dedicated trackers, to make the look-ahead more reliable. Second, reduce latency by reusing reasoning across stable segments, so the model only reasons deeply when the scene changes. Third, validate across multiple embodiments and a broader set of household and industrial tasks, and pair success rates with richer error labels to guide robustness work.
That's helpful. Could you give me a one-line takeaway?
Emma X trains a robot policy to ground its reasoning in images and to plan the next move before acting, which leads to more dependable execution on real tabletop tasks compared with strong baselines.
Perfect. Thanks for walking me through it.
Thanks, Maya. That wraps up today's AI podcast. See you next time.